Hi there. Welcome to my virtual open house. This is a recording of the entire open house. So if you plan to attend and don't want to watch this video, you certainly don't have to. This is the same exact information I'll be going over on September 8th from 6:30 to 7 through a Zoom meeting. This slideshow does have the links, so if you want to fast forward to the end to get it or go to the school website, you can also check your email, and there will be a printed letter in your materials if you pick those up already. I will try and give you as many ways to access this as I can. So I welcome you to Pleasant Glade. If you're a new Panther, welcome. If you're an old Panther, welcome back. I'm Mrs. Goodwin. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm going to tell you about Family Connect time or Family Connection meetings. I'll give you information about our class and all of its different virtual facets. I will show you the student schedule for the fall, as well as the schedule that's a little bit different for the 9th through the 11th and the following week where we're getting to know one another. And I'll show you a couple different ways that you can ask me questions. So first, a little about me. I have 3 children of my own. I have a 20-year-old daughter who is away at school, hooray, and a 12-year-old middle school daughter and a 9-year-old elementary school daughter. So I absolutely understand how difficult it can be to juggle working and helping your children. I'm fortunate that my husband, who is also an educator, is home a lot of the time. So between the two of us, we can find ways to support them. He has been in education for a very long time, both as an administrator, a county director, and he finally decided to go back to teaching because he loved it. But he teaches online and has for years, pre-pandemic, and he's really good at it. He's so good at it, in fact, that now he supports other teachers in his system to be better online teachers. He works for a school called K-12 that has schools in every state. Here in Washington, it's called WAVA. So he helps me a lot too. We came to the greater Olympia area 2 years ago from a small town in Northern California. And when I say small, I mean 5,000 people small. It's where I grew up, where my mom is a retired school teacher as well after 35 years. And my father's a retired highway patrol officer. I loved living there in my hometown, and it was wonderful to have my girls with people I knew. But it's very small, and it's not culturally diverse at all. And my husband and I felt like our children needed a wider world perspective than it could offer. And we were kind of tired of worrying about packing our fire bags every summer because every summer there are fires. And it was just too much and too little culturally. So we're really happy to be in this area that has so much to offer our children and our family. I feel very, very lucky to have come to Pleasant Glade Elementary School. It was by dumb luck in applying to open positions. The interview felt great because the staff is great and the principal is great and our assistant principal is great. The whole staff is really, really nurturing both to each other and to the students. So if you're new to our community, I hope you're able to experience that even though it's virtual at this time. Hopefully we'll be together physically soon. I want to make sure I tell you all the things I had thought were important to tell you. Oh, before I was a teacher. So I am not a spring chicken, but I've only been teaching for 11 years, which is not really an only. That's a long enough time that I kind of know what I'm doing, kind of. And I've taught 3rd grade, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and 5th grade. Originally, I was a flight attendant for about 12 years, and I loved it, and it was fun and interesting, and I traveled the world and the country, which was really good. But it wasn't really terribly deep and meaningful. And I did not have children yet, and I knew I wanted children. And so it just made sense to become a teacher with my educational background and my husband being an educator and my mother having been an educator. Even my mother-in-law is a retired educator. And I am so glad I did. I really, really, really enjoy helping students, seeing them grow. It's amazing. Speaking of growth, that's my educational philosophy. Every student can learn Every student grows. We don't all start at the same place. So I really want to celebrate the successes that your children have in growing from whatever point they're starting. That being said, I understand there is a lot of anxiety about being behind or below grade level. And we know, just like the students we had last year, some weren't able to access information, some were very frustrated with it, some didn't receive enough instruction. We're hoping to find every tool that we can in our toolbox to increase their engagement and make it interesting and fun, as well as rigorous, so that they can get as close to grade level standards and hopefully reach them by the end of the school year. We will make sure that they are prepared for sixth grade. I'm going to move on from the All About Me and go on to the Family Connect time. And that is a series of meetings that we will be having for the first 3 days of the school year. So September 9th, 10th, and 11th. The bulk of our day will be spent in meeting with one family at a time virtually. If that's not possible for you, we can find a way for you to come in. That is allowed, with no more than 4 people on your end and me. And we will connect. And you can sign up for those times on Skyward. If you're familiar with that, with conference scheduling, it's the same process. If you've never touched Skyward and you have no idea what I'm talking about, give me an email or a call or a text, and I can walk you through it and get you a time set up. Also, the times are from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And again, as a working mother, I understand that that doesn't work for everyone. So if you're thinking, well, then I can't have that time, yes, you can. Please email me, please text me, please call me. We will find a time that we can meet. It's really important to you and to me that we're all working together to make the most of this and make it the best experience possible for your child. And so whatever we have to do to find that time, we will do that. So please don't despair. I will find time for you. I will go over the class information, as I said, and let's go ahead and move on to that. So this family connection time, I'm sorry, I forgot I had a slide about that. I've already gone over the 9th, 25 to 30 minutes. So it's a good chunk of time where we should be able to answer lots of questions, troubleshoot some things, figure out your technology situation, your family schedule situation, if we need to make some adjustments to figure out how that can best work for you. We also want to have you fill out a parent survey. There is a link in this slideshow. I will give you a link to this slideshow so you can have access to all of these live links. There's also a myriad of ways that you can find this, and I will show you that as well. If you could fill out the survey before our parent meeting, I will come with some pre-knowledge about your child and your family. This is a family affair. We're past just me and your student. We need to figure this whole thing out. If it works best that later it's just me and your student, that's fine. But I want to make sure we're all involved and we're all supported in whatever ways. Some class information, and I'm going to have to move myself around repeatedly. You will get a weekly email on Friday afternoons, kind of talking about what happened the past week and what's going on in the week ahead. If you are overwhelmed by an email inbox, the only time I'll send you additional emails is if there's something wildly important and different that the school is sending out, or if there's something of concern with just your child. If you let me know in your parent survey that you prefer text, I may still send the bulk in an email, but then I will text you and say, hey, please check, I've sent you an email regarding this. I also post information to the class website, which is through North Thurston Public Schools website, and I'll show you how to get there and bookmark it. And we can have parent meetings. This is not the only one, the Family Connect time. We will find other times if you would like to meet more often. We absolutely can. And also the students will have access through Google Classroom. We are going to use that. So the website, I'm going to encourage you to bookmark the 5th grade page, or at least my page, because I will add information there for you to access. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Whoops, maybe. I don't know what happened there. Let's go back. Oh, did I lose my link? There we go. So this is an easy one to put in, nthurston.k12.wa.us. If that's overwhelming, again, the slideshow will have ways to get there. You go to our schools. Oh, goodness, I didn't mean to click that. And our elementary schools on the right, Pleasant Glade, click. We'll visit the website. Anytime you see this little arrow, you can know you're going to pop out to something else. And we will go to our staff. That's us. Nice picture in front of the school when we were allowed to be together last year. 5th grade team, and we are a team. We work together to support all of the students in 5th grade. Where one of us knows something, another may know something better. So this is myself, Mr. Landers, and Ms. Metzger, and we've been working together. This is our 3rd year together, and we really enjoy working together. And there's a link to our virtual classroom where there are some active links at this point. The library is the only link you really have access to, but it's got some great read alouds. And if your children are looking for something to do, it's a great place to go. So you can click on my name, and I highly recommend that you bookmark this page because then you'll be able to find information. When your book page is bookmarked, the star is blue. If it's not, it would be not blue. It would be clear. So if you don't want a bookmark, you can remove it. I do want a bookmark. I put it on my bookmarks bar for easy access. There we go. So this is my landing page. Again, if you want to come to the live video open house, this is the Zoom link to get there. It's the same Zoom link that your students will use to meet with me on the morning of September 9th at 8:15. And it will be the same link until we transition to Google Meet. Google Meet is missing some features that we'd really like to use for best instructional practices. Once it incorporates those, which it will, then we will stop using Zoom and we will exclusively use Google Meet, other than if in parent meetings it's better for you to use Zoom, we can do that. Here's another link to the parent survey. It's in what's called a Google form. You do not have to have a Gmail account to use it. And here's my contact information again, with my email address is hyperlinked, so you can click it to just send me an email. That's not very helpful. The schedule, my biography, and a place that you can leave questions. To leave a question here, look, I already tried to example that. To add a new question, you can press the plus sign or you can double click. And if you want me to know who's asking this question, that's where the Mr. Brown came in. It's gray, there we go. And if you have a question, how do we get school lunches? And you can just post it like that. You could post it anonymously, maybe a question somebody else has. Please note, this is not private. Anybody can see the questions and the answers. So if you have a private question, save it for a family connection time. You can email me, you can call or text me. But general information, you want to know something, you're frustrated, you want to find out, leave it here and I will do my best to get the answer to you. So that's that. We also have specifically student information. This is important because if your child is a go-getter, and even if not, it's a really easy way to join our Google Classroom. This link has an actual invite in it. So if they click on that while logged in with their school account, that's the hitch. We'll see how that works. They can click it and immediately be brought to my Google Classroom, which is a place that they will use daily. They'll need to check it daily. And it should allow them to just join. If you don't know your students' login information yet, that's okay. We can go over that in our first morning meeting because all they need for that is the Zoom link. You don't need any kind of school accounts for that. Anybody can join the Zoom meeting. This is the link to the same virtual classroom I showed you. They will go to classwork, and that's where their assignments will be laid out. At this point, I plan to organize it by day of the week. And then once that week has passed, I'll archive that below and give it a date. And so I try to keep it very clear. If we've come up with a better way of organizing it, I will change it and let all the students and you know as well. So that is the website. You've seen Google Classroom. As I said, that's where they're going to come. This is also a live link to the invitation to join Google Classroom. The sooner they can join Google Classroom, the easier it will be to share information with them and the more familiar they'll be. I'll also put out some quick videos on how to access that and how to figure out their username and password. But you can also find that out in the Family Connection meeting, email, text, call. So this is our schedule for the first week, and by first week I mean the first 3 days. So this theoretically is today, and if you are viewing this early enough and you somehow missed the millions of emails from the school district, we're having a supply pickup day on Tuesday. It's organized by last name to try and make it easier for families with multiple students in the same school. However, if say your last name ends with a Z, um, but the time at 11 works with you, go ahead and go. No one will be upset with you. We want you to have these supplies in hand. It's going to include textbooks, um, art supplies, math books, workbooks, all kinds of things, so that we'll not be doing paper packets repeatedly. We also have some really important resources for the first week of school, some games that we're going to play with the kids. It'd be nice for them to have the paper. Of course, if they don't, life will go on. And then we'll have this live virtual, the same information. I'm going to use the same slideshow and go over it. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the students should be on from 8:15 to 8:45 with myself and their classmates, and we'll be doing morning meetings. This is a social emotional learning time. This is a time for us to get to know one another, bond, and have some fun. Students will receive some fun activity and getting to know you assignments and ways for them to just play around with the tools that we'll be using while we're remote. And some of them we would use in the classroom as well. So it's a really nice time for them to, without any kind of consequence or judgment or grading, to get to know how to use these tools. From 9 to 3 for myself and parents, this is when our family connection meetings are scheduled to take place. But as I told you, if you need an evening meeting because you work during the day, I am completely understanding of that. Please let me know. This is, again, the live link for the Zoom meetings. While we're using Zoom, those links will remain the same. I do have a waiting room, and I will carefully check who is being admitted to make sure that your students are safe. This is our schedule after the first week. The second week of school, a lot of this time will still be relationship building, getting to know one another, but I wanted you to see how it's laid up. I'm going to go ahead and click this so we can have a larger view and more specific. You can also click that. You have access to this document. It is funky and clunky because we just made it ourselves to try and make it clear. So as I said, every morning, we will do a morning meeting. These are all opportunities. Any green time is an opportunity for your student to easily get their attendance counted. We will be taking daily attendance this year. And if it's green, that is anticipated as a whole group live instructional time. That means that every student, if possible, should be online. We wanted to structure our day with consistency, and we wanted to have lots of breaks for students to get up and move. So from 8:15 to 8:45 is a half-hour session of, as I said, social emotional learning, sharing, getting to know one another. And every day we're going to have that. Even once we get past the getting to know one another, we're going to get to support one another. They'll have a 15-minute break, and then we'll go right into math instruction. We're going to have 35 minutes of live math instruction every day but Friday. Our goal is to accomplish 3 separate lessons, so that gives us time to go back and double check, to maybe do some extension activities or some more interesting activities that go with the math instruction. And then you can see on Friday is taken by science live instruction. Know that we are going to be doing ELA core lessons, so reading and writing instruction. Know that too, our ELA curriculum incorporates science and social studies. So we're not getting rid of social studies. It's built into our ELA curriculum. And of course, as we go further in the year, we'll add in some items as necessary. So these are the live times. So theoretically, and we will encourage your kids, get up, go get a snack, walk around. So we'll make sure, to the best of our ability, that your child is not sitting in front of a computer for this whole time uninterrupted. Granted, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I'm sure you've seen them sit in front of a computer playing Roblox or Minecraft or whatever for longer than that. But We want to make sure that they don't get screen burnout, that they're not just sitting there drooling in front of a screen. We want to keep them moving and alive. And then you can see at 10:25, everybody's core instruction stops and we have a series. So everyone except kids in these groups will have, this is just a 5-minute break, but they won't have this every single day. These small groups, once we get past into our real instruction, at first these are just going to be connection time meetings with students. Once we identify who needs some extra help in ELA and math, we've got specifically this 20-minute time period that we will consistently meet. Hopefully it'll be one group, so we can do it probably no more than 6 children. But we'll wait and see what that looks like. Everyone will be assigned at least 2 times a week to meet with me, to either help remediate anything they're missing, help them complete some of their independent work where they need a little bit of support with that, or if they're having no problems, we'll try and group those kids together and push them to the next level. Everyone's going to be growing from where they are to the next level. In the first couple weeks of school, I would like to schedule these as one-on-one times, very short, 10 to 15 minutes, just to check in with each student, to get to know what their concerns are that maybe they're not comfortable sharing in front of anyone else, and to get a better sense of their personality and their likes and dislikes, so that when I do group them into small groups, and in those cases, there'll be no more than 4 people is my plan. I hopefully will have a good group of kids who can work together, support one another, maybe have some different strengths and weaknesses, but ready to move on at a similar pace. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, they will continue to have specialists. Specialist is library sciences with our teacher librarian, Mrs. Hales. We have art with our art teacher, Ms. Kai. And as I said, you'll be getting some art supplies in your bag, so we don't expect you to come up with it all on your own. We have music with Mrs. Walden, who is also our band teacher, and she will be teaching music, again, to your students this year. And we have PE with the infamous Mr. B. And so your students will be receiving live instruction in that twice a week for a half an hour. And I'm sure they'll give them activities to continue with. The students rotate, so each class, so it's only going to be one set of kids into each specialist at these times. So they'll still be with their core group from the morning, enjoying these things. At 11:30 to 1:05, I want you to notice the red. They're offline. The students should get away from their computer, away from tablets, and just be real kids. Eat lunch, make lunch for your parents if they're home working. Unload the dishwasher for someone, do something kind, or just go outside and play while the weather's still nice. Jump up and down. If you don't have an outside space, maybe do a little stretching or fun stuff that you've learned from Mr. B in your room. And then from 1:05 to 2 o'clock, and 1:05 to 2 o'clock, we'll continue these yellow times of student work, support, again, at first one-on-one, and eventually going into small group. And again, at least twice a week, students will meet with me in this smaller group and instruction. You can see the exciting band and orchestra is an opportunity that is available to all 5th graders. And regardless, you don't need any experience and you don't have to have an instrument yet, and the district will help you with that. There are all different levels of support, so please don't let cost make that an issue, because it is not an issue. So whatever works best for your family, this is available. For band, we have Ms. Walden, who is our band teacher. And for orchestra, we get Mr. Sears, who is an experienced orchestra teacher and has been working with 5th graders for years as well. The reason there are so many time slots, this is not for everyone. What they will be doing is, depending on instrument, they're going to group them together by instrument and have smaller groups so that they can be more effective. So each band or orchestra student will be meeting with their teacher twice a week, lifetime, I believe. Yes. And so that's why there's so many slots. There's 8 slots for 2 times a week for each group of instrument. Here's a key. And again, like I said, you have access to this entire document. Green is whole live instructions. All students should attend if at all possible. If they miss one but can come to another one, please come late. There's no tardy. We just want to have attendance. We want to have them have as much of this live instruction as possible. Yellow, if students don't have a meeting at that time, they should be working on the assignments. Of course, in the beginning, the assignments will be very simple and probably won't take too long. But later they will be a little bit longer, a little more detailed, and a little more challenging. But remember, then the next day they can come back and ask questions or receive help. So you're not on your own. If they really don't understand it, please don't feel like you have to teach it unless you find it simple to help them. That's wonderful. But if you're saying, I don't even know what you're talking about, say, write this down. You can write down the question if your child isn't quite confident enough to do so. You can email it to me. They can email it to me. And they can ask me either in the next large group meeting, or if that's not comfortable for them, they can meet with me in the small group and ask. And I'm sure that their questions will not be the only person that has it. Red, again, I'd love to see you away from your computer. I'm going to get away from my computer. And then purple, only times. So for the rest of the students from 2 to 3 o'clock, again, that's additional time when it's not your band and orchestra time, or if you don't choose to participate in that, that's fine. Know that if you plan to participate in band and orchestra in 6th grade, they don't tend to allow students who didn't participate to join band or orchestra in the middle school. So if they even think they might want to, you can change instruments, you can change from band to orchestra, orchestra to band. But if you haven't had that background of band or orchestra, they have discouraged students from moving into it in 6th grade. So if they even think they might want to try it, this is a great time to do it. That was a lot, sorry. So that's our schedule. And that's it. I want to draw your attention to this link. This is the same online postboard Padlet where you can ask me questions that's posted on the website. This is the same email address, same phone number. Parents may text me, students may text me if you allow them to. That's something for you to decide. I am fine with it. I think I mentioned it's a Google Voice account. So it doesn't really, the call will ring my phone, but I have a do not disturb timer on it. So if you need to leave me a message in the evening, because that's when you have the time, don't worry. And I'm fine answering it sometimes too, or I'll call you right back if I can. This is the link to this slideshow. So if you want these active links for the Padlet, for the Google Classroom, for the Zoom for your child, for class, I would recommend you go. If you're not familiar, this is called a URL shortener. So this is called bit.ly. You type in, you don't have to do the HTTP, bit.ly/NGOH20, Nicole Goodwin Open House. The year 20. So this is an O letter, this is an O number. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I know it's really long. Sorry, I am kind of long-winded sometimes, but I'll try not to be with your students. I'm really looking forward to working with them and you, and we're going to make this as good as it can be, and it can be really good. I know it's scary, but this is not Distance Learning 1.0. This is Distance Learning 2.0, which is going to be so much better. Bye.